Well, Model 3 dude says that we have clearance to kick the snippet, so kick it, we will do. Here we go. It's the State of the Grift.
And you need to quit.
And the theme is, I guess, tonight, for this particular update, nobody's selling. Nobody's selling. We continue to hear this. I heard this last night on a video. Why was I watching a video? I have no idea. Anyway, good evening, everybody. It's Friday, June 23rd. The days are now getting shorter, and that is unfortunate. If we have time, I'll tell a funny story about the summer solstice that happened the other day. But anyway, officially summer. Officially, nobody's selling. We know this. We know this. How do we know this? Well, take your pick. We got the OBV. Let's go with the OBV. Yeah, the OBV, on balance volume. And I don't know exactly what Manuel is trying to say here with this. I thought it was Tom Nash at first in here. I was about to get excited. Well, I'm always excited on here, but I was about to get super excited. I don't know if that's translatable, or I don't even know what alphabet that is. Donnie who. So, yeah, I think maybe it was on his video. But Lynn's not selling. Okay, that's fair. That is fair, but you're not a nobody. First in Russian. Yeah, you can't sell it if you don't hold it, unless you short sell it. Unless you short it, which, I know nobody here would ever do that, because you wouldn't want to engage in manipulative activities anyway. But nobody's selling. I mean, it's crazy. The price goes down. It keeps going down, but nobody's selling. How is that? How is that? That's crazy. But it's a state of the grift. This is what we're given to work with. I didn't create it. And clearly I cannot destroy it. So we might as well have fun with it, right? So in that light, well, what I think what we're gonna do.
Do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
We're gonna do it live. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill. We're gonna do it live. And what do we got? Manuel's ready to start dumping Ape at $2. That's fair. Ape Father says that AMC is at discounted prices. Discounted prices. What and what types of things usually go on discount? I mean, that's what I don't understand about this discount theory. Oh, it's on sale. It's on sale. They're selling it for a discount. That's not really the best way to look at this if you're trying to make money, I don't think. Because I mean, I love discounts and I love clearance. I mean, most of my work clothes I buy on clearance or when they're on sale because I don't want to mess up, nice clothes at work doing actual work. But it's because I buy at the end of the season. I buy, stuff that's incredibly out of fashion. So crap no one wants or they have too much of. In other words, a surplus of supply. Surplus of supply. Well, now I'm getting ahead of myself and we're talking about, crazy concepts that have nothing to do with anything that we're talking about, like supply and, demand and stuff that nobody wants. So low demand or high supply or, you know, I mean, incidentally, incidentally, this is a never too soon zone. I'm going to say this. This is a never too soon zone here. Crap no one wants or they have too much of. And I said, low demand, high supply. And then I was thinking air supply. And boy, I'm not even, you connect the dots on that one. Anyway, never too soon. So let's get into this here. And I think I'm going to start with possibly the worst example of the AMC grifter, the mature AMC. I mean, mature is the wrong word to use. I'll use the term high. This is high grifting, and that's a double entendre because I think that this guy is probably high. I think one would have to be high to come up with this garbage. I think that I would come up with better stuff if I were in a state of polydrug intoxication. But nonetheless, like I said, we're working with what we're given. So the possibly one of the worst examples of this modern high grifting style, like I'm using that in terms like high renaissance, the high grifting style of meme stocks has got to be zero data, zero data. And he's wearing a Miami shirt. He may be in Miami. But this is a real class act here. So let's see what he's got to say. The charts, facts, and data say this is next for these stocks: AMC, Ape, Bed Bath & Beyond on the OTC, GameStop, SPY, and Bitcoin. So this is curious. Is he lumping all of these together and saying this is next for these stocks? This one thing is next for all of these. I don't know, but I don't see how that could. Well, anyway, we'll just have to find out. I'm just going to spare us the aggravation. I'm skipping his intro and his second intro. We're going to skip straight to the part where his microphone sucks. Here we go. And after his cutesy little hand transition, because I can't stand it. Here we go, zero data.
Zero. In this video, we're going to be looking at AMC, Ape, GME. I'm going to be focusing on these stocks. I will be dropping my normal update over the weekend and give you guys my weekly predictions as well. I'm going to cover some technical analysis for you guys right now and give you guys an update on today's price action. I'm going to talk about a couple things going on and then give you guys more updates throughout the week. So make sure you check out or updates throughout this weekend. Make sure you check out.
Boy, that is a bullish as fuck MACD reading. Look at that. That I hope he talks about how absolutely bullish as fuck that is. Wow. Yes, welcome to Business 101. Sometimes it seems like we're teaching an introductory business course here. It really does, which is hilarious. Okay.
And Bitcoin videos this weekend. So guys, I want to point out AMC that has this huge gap fill right here on the daily time frame. There's a major gap fill. AMC is going to get a recovery, okay? We are oversold right now.
Oh, okay.
Oversold on the daily time frame, and I'm expecting a recovery into next week. You guys already know how I feel about next week and the days of the 28th and the 29th. I keep saying this, guys.
Wait a minute.
Over and over again. I will be giving.
He might keep saying it over and over and over again, but I mean, every week it's a different day. Every week it's a different date in the future. Every week, it's a different date in the future that is hyped and said over and over and over. And we have a saying for this around here, which, by the way, welcome to any new viewers, new subscribers, people stumbling in here. If you think that we are pumping AMC or we are on the side of the squeeze, stick around. If you think that we are bashing AMC, stick around. I'll tell you, though, we're not bashers. We're not bashing the stock. We're not bashers. But we have a saying for this around here that was coined. Well, it wasn't really coined by this individual, but this individual brought it to our attention, and it really articulates the sentiment of this whole thing really well. And it's called "Free Beer Tomorrow." Free beer tomorrow. So you're in the bar. There's a sign. It says "Free beer tomorrow." What? Really? Free beer tomorrow? Yeah, come on back tomorrow. Free beer tomorrow. Every day you come back, it's free beer tomorrow. Same thing with this MOAS, or as this data zero data clown says, MOAS. MOAS. It's the highfalutin pronunciation, MOAS. The long O sound. Free beer tomorrow. Well, it didn't happen today, but it will happen tomorrow. Yeah. And by the way, that individual was Apish Bambino, aka Josh. I hope you're doing well, Josh. So anyway, free beer tomorrow. Oh yes, these dates, the 28th and 29th. Free beer on those days. Make sure you come back.
Giving you guys a little bit more precise update on this weekend, but I do think we're going to get that recovery. AMC is just way oversold right now. It's way oversold. It's way overextended to the downside. We're way outside of the Bollinger Bands. AMC is going to get a very nice bounce to the upside, and I think we're going to get this rally here into next week and start this recovery next week. I think we're going to get a nice V-shaped recovery and start running to the upside, filling this gap and back inside the band.
See that? No, see, the only V-shaped anything you get is an inverted V. You get plenty of inverted Vs. Yes, you do. You get plenty of inverted V patterns here. Look at all these inverted Vs. But I mean, I've never seen a V-shaped recovery on AMC. Truly a V-shaped recovery. That just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Skirting and flirting with $4.
There's so many things telling us that we're oversold to the downside right now. RSI being outside of the bands and this gap fill, everything is saying that we're going to get a bounce and move to the upside. It is very, very.
But see, these indicators, they don't tell you that you're going to get a bounce. That's a misconception and it's ignorance. Indicators don't tell you what is going to happen next. These are all lagging indicators. These are lagging indicators. They are looking at historical price action. They are looking at what has already happened over a period of a look back period, taking an average, comparing two averages, doing some other interesting operations with price over a period of time in case of the RSI. But they don't tell you what is happening next. Now, while it may be true that when these indicators get to this certain level, certain things tend to happen, or they might be more likely to happen, they do not tell you that they are going to happen. Stocks can remain oversold or overbought for extended periods of time. They can. You can get what Ira Epstein calls embedded readings, where your RSI is squarely below that oversold or overbought, above the overbought, below the oversold line on the RSI, for example. And once it goes embedded, meaning I think he says 3 days, and he uses a slow stochastic, but it's a momentum indicator, just like RSI. If you have a momentum indicator that's embedded in oversold or overbought, meaning 3 consecutive days of overbought or oversold readings, that can continue indefinitely. It can continue indefinitely, and we've seen that happen. See it happen all the time. So don't think that just because something gets to 20 or 30 on your momentum indicator, and look at this MACD. MACD compares two moving averages, shorter term and a longer term, and then it displays it, as a momentum histogram as well. This is not indicating anything at all, really. And if someone held a gun to my head, said, Scott Alkin, tell me what is coming next, Well, I would have to say it's probably going to be a longer dark red bar here. I'm sorry, light red bar, meaning more downside. That's what would seem to be indicated here. Not necessarily, but this is not indicating any type of reversal imminent. This line is crossed over the signal line. That is, that's a confirmation, if anything. And the crossover happened in negative territory. We are below zero. Crossover happened below zero. That's even more weak. It's even more weak. So, not really telling you, and Lynn is bringing this up here. Past performance is not an indication of future performance. We read that on Fidelity's website last time. Past performance is not an indication of future returns. You cannot count on it. Now, are there patterns? Yes. Are they the patterns that these clowns talk about? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, continuing. Thanks, Lynn.
We're going to recover and move to the upside.
Oh, did I just hear the O word? Wait a minute. Did I just hear the O word?
The downside right now, RSI being outside of the bands and this gap fill, everything is saying that we're going to get a bounce and move to the upside. It is very, very obvious that we're going to recover and move to the upside.
He did say the O word. It's very obvious that we are going to bounce and recover to the upside. Well, maybe I should just find the clip and let Mr. Walter Deemer explain it. But around here, there's something called, if it's obvious, it's obviously wrong. And in the stock market, that tends to be the case more often than not. If it's obvious, it's obviously wrong. If it's so obvious that zero data and every low quality grifter clown thinks that it's inevitable, it must happen. It must happen. The stock market loves to crush your dreams. Just look at the last 2 years. Just look at the last 2 years for these clowns. If it's obvious, it's obviously wrong. All right, continuing.
People think that my confidence is gone about the MOAS. No, my confidence is not gone about the MOAS. When you try to tell someone how they feel, you're going to be wrong every single time. My confidence has not waned. I do think the MOAS is going to happen. It's just
wow. Okay, let me go back. I missed that.
When you try to tell
me tell
him. It is very, very obvious that we're going to
obvious
and move to the upside. People think that my confidence is gone about the MOAS. No, my confidence is not gone.
No, I don't. No, I would not say that at all. His confidence is gone? If anything, it's even more desperate, overzealous, and ignorant. Unfounded. Completely unfounded. Unwarranted, unsupported, unsubstantiated, not proven, misplaced. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but waning or diminishing? No, the only thing that's diminished here is this guy's capacity for critical thinking.
On about the MOAS. When you try to tell someone how they feel, you're going to be wrong every single time.
When you try to tell people about stocks and what's going to happen in the future, you're going to be wrong almost every single time. And I'm not just talking about AMC. I am not just talking about AMC.
Confidence has not waned. I do think the MOAS is going to happen. It's just, when is it going to happen? How long is it going to take? And that's what I'm here trying to find. So my dates of interest are the 28th and the 29th.
Like Manny's saying here, looking at the chart is useless. You're not going to find when a squeeze will happen based on a price chart. That is ignorant, okay? You're not going to see that on here. Nobody knew it was going to happen on June 2nd, 2021. Nobody knew that. Oh, you'll hear a lot of people claim that after the fact. But where were the people on May 28th, on May 27th, on June 1st, on May 20th? Where were the people then saying, you know what, June 2nd, that's the day? Nobody said that I recall. If anything, it was the generalized free beer tomorrow approach, where every day, every next day, every next week, every next Tuesday at 1:35 p.m., is when it will happen, which is generic. That's not based on a chart. That's based on human emotion and psychology and the insidious snares of a grifter, quite frankly. But let's continue.
After those dates, I'm going to go back to the drawing board if we don't squeeze, if we don't move up to about $5.15.
Yeah.
Get that
Go back to the drawing board, come up with some other bullshit, see what other date you can pull out of your ass. Yeah, we've seen you do it for months. You've been doing it for months, and none of them have worked. That's the thing that I don't understand here. This guy has been wrong about this perpetually, every time. Why does he think that anybody actually believes him? Why does he think that he has any authority or credence at this point? It really is clownish and pathetic. And clearly, I'll use the C word, not the O word. Clearly, this guy is a grifter. I don't see any other option. Don't see any other option. Because do I think it's the case that he's doing this for altruistic reasons? I don't know. Tony, what do you think?
Do I think that's the case? I don't know. I don't really think that's the case. I don't really think that's the case.
I agree. I don't either. Okay, continuing now. For real.
Candle to the upside of $5.15 and get that move that we saw on the bars pattern. If we do not get that and start running up by those dates, then I'm going to go back to the drawing board, check the technical analysis, and try to find another date. That is what I do. Give dates.
Try to find another date. Yeah. Good.
Updates on what I'm looking at with the price. So that's what's going on in this channel, and my confidence is not going that the squeeze is going to happen, and I'm also very confident that the reverse split is not going to happen. But as you guys can see, I do think we're going to...
Whoa. Hold on a second there, partner. Very confident the reverse split is not going to happen. This is what happens when, not when you worked at... No.
This is what happens when you work to change things.
This is what happens when you bury your nose in a chart and neglect other things that are happening, which I would argue are more important, and they are reasons why probably the price does what it does on a day-to-day basis that forms the chart that you're looking at. All it is the record of prices. The reverse split's not going to happen. Where are you getting that from? I mean, it sounds like you have zero actual data here. Why would anybody say that? We have a judge that was inclined to approve the settlement, which was agreed to between the parties. We now have a special master who says the same thing. And that the AMC Apes shareholders' concerns are basically invalid. There is no hint or indication or anything from anybody besides these, clowns themselves. There is no indication, there's no official indication from anybody, from any institution, entity, person, or group that the reverse split will not occur. There is zero indication of that. There are many indications of the opposite. So, again, zero fucking data. This is just bloviation, folks.
To get that bounce to the upside, we're way outside the Bollinger Bands. Again, price likes to stay back inside the bands. It's going to...
Fourth time he's talked about the Bollinger Bands.
And we have a gap fill. So again, we're going to be getting that bounce to the upside, and I do think that's coming next week. I think this is all part of the plan, what we're seeing actually happen.
I think, okay.
With AMC and APE and GME. So let's go ahead and look at AMC's cost to borrow. You guys can see that cost to borrow is moving to about 200%. As you guys can see, it's at 195%. And every time cost to borrow gets about this high and starts to run up, we see price run up. As we see this last run up with cost to borrow, we had price run up majorly on AMC. If you guys go ahead,
I'm skeptical of that.
When we had cost to borrow run up like that, price run up this high.
Oh, okay. Now, what is it AMC the candles, or that the price, or is it the cost to borrow? I don't know. I don't care. But that must be the price. The price must be the line. Ah, yes. So we have cost to borrow 200% here, and we have price taking a nosedive down to the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. What are you talking about here? What exactly are you talking about here? Or is the bars, histogram bars, the cost to borrow? I don't know. Anyway, or is that the moving average? I can't even tell. But let's be clear. Let's just clear this up right now. The cost to borrow is meaningless. The cost to borrow is irrelevant. On a $4 stock, it doesn't fucking matter. Institutions don't worry about this. They don't worry about this. It doesn't matter. They've been talking about this as a catalyst for the last 2 years. Not once has it actually meant anything. It's just another talking point. It's just another Fox News talking point.
And start to run up. We see price run up as we see this last run up with cost to borrow. We had price run up majorly on AMC. If you guys go ahead and look back in the past when we had
Majorly.
we had this run up for AMC.
Big league.
And we had this cost to borrow run up right here.
Whoa, crypto bubbles. Boy, that's irony right there. Crypto bubbles. You don't say. Bubbles. Love it.
Price run up for AMC. So every time cost to borrow starts to run up, price runs up as well.
That is not true.
I do think
zero data
showing us that we're going to be moving back to the upside. So these are things that I'm looking at for AMC.
No,
Again, I'm going to give you
no. Kiddo, no. Okay. You're a young buck. You got a lot of energy. No.
Over the weekend, but this is what I'm looking at.
I mean, yeah, and Manny brings up another good point. Cost to borrow is going to go down significantly once a reverse split is approved. Again, he's not thinking about this holistically. He's just looking at numbers, looking at a chart, trying to make these bullshit correlations. And I agree. It's going to go down once the reverse split's approved. I mean, that is going to rock their world. I hope. Let's hope. Let's hope it does.
For AMC, I do think we're going to get that recovery and get this bullish week here next week. I think this was a major shakeout before the put.
So far, there's been no actual data here. No, I mean, yeah, sure, there's a chart, but there's no facts. There's no data. I mean, I think it's going to do this. I think it's going to do that. I believe this. I believe that. That's not data. That's not a fact. Your opinion, however delusional, is not a fact. Well, it's a fact that it's a fact that it's your opinion. But then we say it's an irrelevant fact. And really, it's an opinion. And opinions are like assholes. Quite frankly. Yeah.
Push to the upside, in my personal opinion. Let's go ahead and look.
My personal opinion.
And then hop into the other stocks. So as you guys can see, AMC shares available to borrow is at 0. They are having a hard time shorting this thing down. They are dumping everything they have into this before this move. I do think.
Now, come on. I mean, seriously, they're still using this site, Stonk O Tracker, which uses one brokerage source for their borrowing data. 0 shares available to borrow from Interactive Brokers. But let me tell you, there are other brokers. Oh, and the apes should know this because the apes, number 1 and 2 brokers that they use, Robinhood, Webull. Those figures are not included in this. This is Interactive Brokers only because it's the easiest data to get with an API, throwing together a shitty 1998 style website like this, text and tables. I mean, hello. 2001 called. They want their Dreamweaver website back. You know, they say you can't use HTML2 anymore. Okay. I mean, what is this crap? But nonetheless, it's easy to get the data of this shares available to borrow for Interactive Brokers. I honestly don't know that I've ever seen any actual AMC shareholder indicate that they use Interactive Brokers or show the Interactive Brokers platform or use any of their analytical tools in videos. Apes don't use Interactive Brokers. They just don't. They use the low quality payment for order flow brokerages like Robinhood and Webull. which we don't know how many shares are available to borrow in those brokerages. We don't know that. So we go with the easy number, and you know, also coincidentally, it's a zero number, fitting for this guy. But they love when they can say 0 shares available to borrow. That is just it's like it's a freebie. It's a freebie.
I think they're trying to cause fear,
but it's not true. It is not true.
uncertainty, doubt, shake you guys out before the move to the upside. That is just what I think, in my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but that is what I'm looking at based off my tech.
So again, he's saying that it's his opinion. So why is he putting in the title that that's facts and data say this? I mean, this isn't even valid data. It's being taken out of context, cherry picked, if you will. He's gaslighting with it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Technical analysis and research. Let's go ahead and look at Ape stock,
Research.
GME stock, and then wrap up this video. So as you guys can see, Ape is moving to the upside, breaking that price point, and
I wonder why.
like I said it would.
I wonder why. Oh, like he said it would. Oh, good.
For Ape, I do think we're going to get a initial push to the upside once Ape consolidates at this $1.
So he thinks Ape and AMC are going up. Interesting. He thinks both AMC and Ape are going to run to the upside. Again, I'm waiting for Manuel to comment here. I mean, not that he needs to, but is this zero data guy not actually even looking at the chart? I don't even know if he's looking at the charts. Does he? This is bizarre.
$1.80 level, getting a push to about $2.50. I do not think that the split is happening. I do not think the conversion is happening, and I think Ape is going to.
Again, there's no data to even suggest that that would be the case. There is zero data to suggest that this reverse split conversion is not going to occur. Contractually, it must occur. And the court has not even hinted at the fact that they will nullify that agreement between two entities who agreed to this last year. It's just not a reality. The reality is it is going to happen. That should be the default assumption at this point. It's been ours the whole time. And quite frankly, I don't know why court went through this charade of collecting all this data from the shareholders, sorting them into groups, publishing their comments, sending them postcards, all of this nonsense to ultimately come out and say, you know what? Yeah, we recommend that we go ahead with a settlement. Really? So you just allowed AMC to be sold off another 40%, I'm sorry, 25% in that time. Fantastic. Great job. That's that's Delaware Chancery Court. Idiots think post-conversion price equals AMC plus Ape. I mean, like that one guy, who was that guy? Oh, Spence. Yes, Froggy Stonks. Boy, that guy's all over the place. They'll both converge at 250, and the after split price will be $4. I'm sorry, $40. Citadel's got to take their cut, I guess.
With AMC, and I think GME is going to run first, then AMC is going to run, and Ape's going to run with AMC. I think Ape's going to stay about
blind speculation. No even hint at trying to provide any proof. Just ignorant speculation, blind speculation.
Underneath the price that AMC runs to, and that is just what I'm looking at based off my technical analysis. I think Ape's going to be consolidating.
You cannot predict this from technical analysis. That's idiotic, especially in this scenario of this reverse split conversion with all of the, facets that are here. You can't tell that off of, no, you just came up with that. You just came up with that. Otherwise, you would tell us how you came up with it. You pulled it out of your ass.
Above this $1.80 level, letting RSI cool down and then get a push to the upside. Let's go ahead and look at GME stock. GME stock.
Jesus Christ.
For GameStop. and let's go. So as you guys can see, GameStop is basically just staying above this macro sloping resistance as it flipped to support. This has been resistance for over 2 years. Again, GameStop
It flipped to support. Oh, Jesus Christ.
For the MOAS, I do think GameStop is going to run first. We've seen GameStop run first in the past. We could see it definitely happen again. GameStop is basically staying above this sloping macro resistance.
Why did it run first in the past? Oh, that's right. It was shorted more than 100%. So it must be being shorted more than 100% now, right? No. 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 The reasons why this happened in 2021 are no longer valid, my friend. So I don't know. Again, there's no data here.
Holding it as Bollinger Bands get strict as we work on the MACD cross on a 4-hour time frame. I do think once we get this,
that is an increasingly bearish MACD. Congratulations.
MACD cross to the bullish side on the 4-hour time frame, we're going to see GME push to the upside and get this initial rocket to the upside. Again, I think meme stocks are going to be very, very
blind speculation.
29th. So that's this week coming up. And again, I'm going to be dropping videos.
If that is not the case, this clown is going to get roasted. I will dedicate an entire 2-hour live stream to busting this clown's ass. You have my word on that.
Explaining everything about that, explaining what I think's going on, and showing you guys fundamentals and technicals, of course, to back up my opinions.
Fundamentals, okay. Yeah, let's talk. You want to talk fundamentals? I don't really want to talk fundamentals because they're shit. They are complete shit for both of these companies. Now we're into Bed Bath & Beyond. For all three of these companies, the fundamentals are complete and utter dog shit. Okay? Complete and utter dog shit. So you probably don't want to go with fundamentals. I would have taken that out of the video, but hey, it's just me.
Again, I told you guys that BBBY would be running with AMC APE and GME. As you guys can see, BBBY is sitting up in a falling wedge and is about to have this push to the upside. Again, it had this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it's about to have a move to the upside as well. I do think BBBY.
Why would Bed Bath & Beyond have a push to the fucking upside? Give me a fucking break. Does he not read the news? Does he not know what is happening with this company? Oh, they just added the Q on the end of it because they like it. They like the Q. They like the way the Q looks. No, that's not why. Jesus.
To be running with APE, GME, and AMC. I think these 4 meme stocks in particular, I know there are more meme stocks, but I think these 4 meme stocks in particular
I think
that rally to the upside as
good.
SPY starts to move to the downside. And of course, I will be covering SPY in my other videos as well. You can see the Bollinger Bands are constricting here on SPY, and SPY is about to get that push to the downside. I basically think it's going to consolidate, get one more final push, hit its head on the sloping macro resistance, and then start capitulating to the downside. And I will be covering more about this on my later videos. I just want to give you
an
update.
On. Who says on?
Sorry about the rushed update, but I will be doing a more in-detailed update explaining everything.
We don't need. No. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Why would you even bother? Unless you're a grifter. You have said nothing in this video. You have half-assedly provided some desperate fucking pathetic hopium to people who need a dose of reality, and you're not it. You are not it. This is fantasy, delusion. And it's not even good fantasy, and it's not good delusion. Well, I don't know if there is good delusion, but the only reason he covers Bed Bath is because Trey talked about it. Yeah, this guy is a bit of a Trey wannabe. He will never betray, but he has betrayed retail investors. As far as I'm concerned. So did Trey. Trey betrayed retail investors. He was selling when he was telling people to buy. If that's not securities fraud, I don't know what is. By the way, I don't know what is, but I guess they figure, yeah, he's small potatoes, doesn't matter. A broken clock is more accurate than zero data. Yeah, I agree. Jesus. I mean, between this clown and Ants Trades, we got some real winners out here.
More details for this. I'm going to be covering BBBY, APE, GME, AMC, SPY, and Bitcoin over the weekend. So make sure you guys check out those videos. Also,
we absolutely will not. We absolutely will not. That you have my word on that. So, State of the Grift wise, I mean that clown is he's not going to change. He's not going to change. And I mean the thing is, people. The thing is, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to look at things in a different light and realize things and adjust your outlook and adjust your positioning. That's how this works. If you're dead set on something and you have a fixed mindset about it, I say in life in general, it's bad. But certainly in the stock market, it is because shit changes. Shit changes. I know it's hard for people to believe, probably, but shit does change. Sometimes too quickly to keep up with it. So, yeah, Trey was telling people that Ryan Cohen didn't sell his Bed Bath & Beyond shares and call options, and he absolutely did. I recall that was about a year ago, wasn't it? No, not that long. Or was it? I don't remember. The only thing that is constant is that things will change. Absolutely. 100%. Love it. Trey fanboys lost a lot of money listening to his horrible TA. Yeah, remember when he bought calls on Tesla back when, you know, it wasn't the right call to buy calls on Tesla? I mean, come the fuck on. Okay. All right. I want to change gears here a little bit, and let's go to let's have a little comic relief. We'll go to our good old friend Donnie Who.
This is not financial advice, it's not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. That being said, hit the like button, the subscribe button, all YouTube algorithm stuff, so you get the videos I put them out. See what I'm thinking, see them analyzing that data. Like I tell every day, the day they release us is false. Man, it gives a false narrative of the market so we can make bad trading decisions. Listen, before I get to the video, I want to show y'all guys something. Listen, they got a whole bunch of sea turtle nests here. You see?
Wow.
A lot of sea turtles all over the beach. You got the nests all over the beach. All over the beach. Where you see those little pink things? Those are the sea turtle nests. But
I failed to see that, but yeah, listen.
Sorry for getting off subject. Listen.
Well, you better be, Donnie Who. You better be sorry. You just wasted 49 of our seconds.
They are doubling and tripling down on the corruption with AMC this morning. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous.
All morning, we've had less than 10,000 AMC shares available to short. Less than 10,000. Yet, over 2 million.
I would like to know where that came from, that figure. I'm guessing it came from the Stonko Tracker website. I don't think that this clown has ortex. Not that that's the end-all be-all, but they do look at multiple brokers and multiple sources of borrowing. So, okay.
Short, less than 10,000. Yet, over 2 million of the shorted shares already, at least that, because you know 60 to 70% of the volume is usually shorted shares. So,
short volume. Yes, right. The thing that is not what it claims, what it purports to be. Short volume is not shorted shares in terms of positions being established in a short position in a stock. It's just not. I've been over the I literally have gone blue in the face talking about this, trying to tell people, trying to get them to even look into it. Short volume is not short interest. It is not short interest. The reason why short volume is so high, if you want to say that it's high, is probably because it is sick of being misinterpreted, and the only way it can escape that fantasy delusion is by getting high. Okay, now seriously, the reason why it would be elevated is because of retail investors buying shares. Retail investors buying shares on payment for order flow brokerages like Robinhood and Webull creates short volume. It absolutely does. And that's what most of the short volume is. It is market makers selling shares to retail investors on payment for order flow brokerages. That is a fact. We've been over it many times. You can read about it on FINRA. You can read about it on other resources. I have videos about it. Short volume is not short interest. There were not 2 million short positions shares sold short today. That's false. But do you think that this clown can distinguish that? Nah, you know, I hate to rely on, I hate to rely on Tony, but
I don't know. I don't really think that's the case. I don't really think that's the case.
I don't either. It's not the case. He's wrong.
So based on that, there are about 2 million shares that have been shorted in the market to illegally manipulate the price of AMC. Yet,
yes, those illegally shorted shares that are actually retail investors buying shares to illegally manipulate the price. Get a fucking clue. Get a fucking clue. Okay? And who in the fuck who is from Florida wears a Fort Lauderdale Beach shirt? I don't know. Maybe Manuel, maybe this is a thing I don't know about. Maybe people in Florida wear Florida shirts. But that to me is weird and lame. But that is my opinion. That's just an opinion. It's irrelevant. I just happen to notice that's what it says here. Fort Lauderdale Beach. Cool. Sweet.
Only been less than 10,000 shares available to short. And yet somehow...
Okay, so how do you square those things? 10,000 shares available to short, 2 million shares short volume. Well, the 10,000 shares is not the total. It is one entity reporting that, number one. Number two, short volume is not short interest. And instead of looking these things up and verifying it and trying to figure out every way that it does not indicate what he's saying, he's just going with face value, which is lazy and stupid. Lazy and stupid. And he's at the beach. And again, I say lazy and stupid.
Somehow, the SEC, the DTCC, FINRA, and all the other regulatory agencies do not see a problem with this nonsense. I mean...
Because they know more than you. You know, I'll quote Ron Swanson. I know more than you. Okay? I know more than you. And so does the SEC. They know more than you do. And they understand what these things actually are. And what they are nothing burgers. Extra mayo, courtesy of Marantz. I mean, this is absurd. How are these guys doing this every day, misrepresenting literally everything? Literally everything. We'll do the Ron Swanson clip because it's funny. If I can get it to come up here. So, Parks and Recreation, great show. Check it out.
Hi there. Is there a project you're working on?
I know more than you.
All right.
Yes. Yes, you do, Ron. All right.
At this point, nobody who has a logical...
And yes, I do all of this with no producer. This is a one-man band here. One-man band. Although, taking applications for producers.
Nobody who knows how to use a calculator...
I can only pay you in AMC shares, though. Sorry.
...that they can't see the fraud and corruption in AMC shares. Okay? It's absolutely outrageous. And the fact that the 1% could continue keep robbing retail investors and pension funds with no consequences. It's just next limit. And the fact that we see all the
Next limit? Next level? Next limit? Big league? I don't know.
corruption in the Supreme Court, which tells me that on the lower levels, the corruption is probably a whole lot worse.
Oh yeah, of course.
As a 99% expect to get any type of justice, any type of relief.
Maybe, I don't know, change the things that you do. Maybe take responsibility for your own situation. I mean, this is absurd. If a 40-year-old millennial, that's me, has to tell a 55-year-old, whatever, sloth here, that he needs to take personal responsibility, that it's nobody's fault but his, that he lost money. What is wrong with this picture? What is wrong with this picture? I think this is crazy.
Listen,
How can you get any relief? The 99%, 1%. Donnie, why don't you join a militia? It sounds like you want to. There's probably one that will have you join a militia. Okay, go out there and make change. Make your voice heard. March on Washington, or go to the SEC, or start an online petition, because those always work. Or you could, grow the fuck up and realize, well, first of all, there's no get rich quick. Nobody gets rich quick in the stock market, especially on such a massive scale. It does not work like that. And you could say it's because of corruption or manipulation or crime or whatever. You can say whatever you want. But I'm listening to the audiobook of Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. I've wanted to read this book for a long time, and I spend a lot of time in the car these days, so I've been listening to it on my way to and from work, and when I have to drive out in the field and stuff, and it's absolutely fascinating. I would highly recommend it to check it out. Reminiscences of a Stock Operator by Edwin Lefebvre. It's the same exact shit that was happening literally 100 years ago. 100 years ago, they knew. 100 years ago, these things existed. So, I mean, talk about being late to the fucking party. Talk about not having done any learning. And you come in and you think that you know better than the SEC and the regulators, and that you can spot the corruption with the data that they release, which you say is false. Here's a question. Donnie, you say every day in your disclaimer, which is not a disclaimer, it will not disclaim you from anything if it came down to it, which I would expect him to know as a former barrister. But all things being equal, he's not a lawyer anymore. Thank God. He says the data that they release to us is false, meant to give us a false narrative of the market so we can make bad trading decisions. Pass the buck a little bit more, would you? But if you're given false data, I mean, just thinking here, just putting two and two together. If the data that they give you is false, and that data is what you're using to come up with your analysis, I don't even want to call it that, your verbal diarrhea, but the data that you're using to come up with the diarrhea is false, then doesn't that mean that whatever spews out of your mouth is inherently flawed, false, based on false data? It seems like that's what that would mean. I mean, to me, when you say something's false and then you use that as a support, I mean, it kind of tells me that you're full of shit. Or it tells me, it tells me that, or it tells me probably that, probably more so that.
I believe your liquidity's been drying up. I know you guys are going to say I'm like a broken record, but look at what's happening. All these banks is laying people off.
Oh,
I told you on the previous video, people they're getting out of the equity market. They're pulling out billions. They're pulling out billions in less than a week. So as soon as that liquidity runs out, self-preservation is going to kick in, and they're going to force them to start covering those short positions.
no, they won't.
Leave some comments. Tell me what you think.
I would love to have any examples of any time when shorts were forced to close their positions. I mean, that's really no different than forcing a long position holder to close their position. And that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. But what is interesting, though, is in Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, I forget which chapter, but he, the narrator, mentions a time, and I believe it was surrounding the presidential election of William McKinley. So the 1890, I believe the 1896 election, I believe. William McKinley and Brian, what was his name? Brian, I believe William Jennings Bryan. Around that election, there were exchanges or brokers or bucket shops or whoever that were not allowing people to trade. They actually stopped. It wasn't, remember, there was no regulatory authority. There was no FINRA. There was no SEC. There was none of that. They halted trading around the presidential election. Can you imagine that? So over 100 years ago, something akin to the GameStop shutdown, the meme stock halt of 2021, January, occurred, which absolutely blew my mind because we got, it's so, this has never happened before. And it turns out not only has it happened over 100 years ago, it's in one of the most seminal and popular books on investing and trading and markets that there is. One of the top books that is recommended to all investors or market participants, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, talks about that happening. I think that's absolutely fascinating. Anyway, just another feather in the cap of these guys are fucking brain dead morons. All right. Let's hear Al from Boston's 10,000-foot view of AMC situation. This is going to be so bad. I'm just saying. If you have drugs, do them now. It will make it easier. Go ahead and do your drugs. Smoke them if you got them. Holy shit, this is going to be bad. Oh, look at this.
This is a 10,000-foot view of what's happened.
Jesus Christ.
2015. So we give you a 10,000-foot view, and
we're speeding this shit up
so you understand fully what has happened. And if you're new to the play, God help anybody that's new to the play. God help them. They're going to need it. You should understand, and you can't grasp it because it's too convoluted. It's too difficult. Maybe this will help you a little bit, give you a better understanding. Okay. So this is
right. Okay.
2015 December is when Adam Aron became CEO, and they had just bought Starplex. They went on to buy Odeon and Carmike that very same year, 2016. And by that time, by the end of December 2016, they had accumulated about $4.3 billion in debt. And then in 2017, they bought Nordic Cinemas. And if you notice, these things are all listed in such a way that the amount of the...
Oh, I'm sorry, Model 3 dude. I didn't see your link here. I did not see your link.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right. Good times here at the
I like turtles.
Village, open for the next 11 days. So
purchase was listed. Okay, now this is not full and complete. There's more
That's
things that haven't
hilarious.
been listed, but I wanted to just give you a good understanding of how the thing works. But by 2018, we had bought Nordic Cinemas, Carmike Cinemas, Screen Media Vision, and Cinetopia. I couldn't get an accurate number on how much Cinetopia was. It's somewhere between 100 and 200 million, is what I know. So since Adam Aron has come on to this company, he has had this aggressive buyout mentality where he's just buying out all these movie theaters that are really shitty. They're not great theaters. If you look at them, they weren't really making a lot of money. There were a lot of them were kind of like just in tatters. They weren't clean. They were just gross. And
sounds a lot like AMC from what I understand.
So there was that, and a number of cases resulted as of these material omissions. Now, these are 4 of them listed up here, as well as the Linda Lau, which came out later. But in these cases, the one I brought up to your attention not too long ago, hopefully you guys can see that.
Nope, we can't see it.
Seen as an overall pattern of Adam Aron's conduct, which is material omissions. It's a breach of fiduciary duties and material omissions. And he was cited in the.
Oh my God.
And you can ask him, you can ask the company about him. And I encourage you to, if you have any doubts. But they talk about material omissions in cases. They talk about serious matters pertaining to fraud, which I believe, in my opinion, is fraud. And I don't like that. I don't like the idea of that.
Oh, hold on a second here. Hold on a second. This fraudster, Al from Boston, is accusing someone else of fraud? That is, I really don't even have any words for this. Wow. Now I have heard everything. Now I legitimately have heard everything. Al from Boston is accusing Adam Aron of being a fraudster and of the company of promulgating fraud. Give me a motherfucking break. This clown, Al from Boston, he belongs in Guantanamo right next to Thomas James, the squinty-eyed wanker, AMC grifter. Those two would be great pals, I'm sure. But this is garbage. The reason I started this channel 2 years ago is because nobody was talking about this stuff. Nobody was highlighting the misinformation, the lies, the manipulation that was happening on social media, the false information, the false financial advice, the pumping. It still happens on a daily basis. It still happens on a daily basis, and I guess on a Friday, it really happens. But there is absolutely no reason that these clowns should be able to, A, pump out this garbage every day. Because it is garbage. It is harmful. There are people, God help them, who listen to these clowns. And if I wanted to start a channel where I say, you know what, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a mental health counselor, but I have some ideas. And here's how counseling needs to happen. And if you are having this problem and you have this depression and da-da-da, well, here's what I've found that works. And it's like, you know, a course of treatment. That's inappropriate. I can't dispense medical advice. If I say, I'm not a dentist, but, you know, if you have a tooth giving you trouble, let me show you how to pull it out. I'll show you how to pull it out the way the pros do it. That's not appropriate. That is not appropriate. If I come on YouTube and say, you know what, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but I read some articles and some subreddits, and I've got Black's Law Dictionary. And let me tell you, if this happens, then here's what you should do. Here's what you need to do. And you'll win. I guarantee you'll win your case. I can't do that. I can't dispense legal advice. But for some reason, Google turns a blind eye to all of these fraudsters putting out false information about finance, about money, about the stock market. Every day, they turn a blind eye to it. And I used to think it was because of the views that they got and the advertising dollars. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. At the very least, these channels should be demonetized. They should not be able to literally make money on lies. That is absurd. And I will maintain that always. Making money off of this is fraud. Period. So for Al from Boston to sit here and call Adam Aron a fraudster because he expanded the company and acquired theaters that were shitty and not clean, much like a lot of the AMC theaters that we hear about, not clean. It's just I mean, it's the ultimate expression of being a grifter. It's the ultimate expression. I'm just I'm not surprised at all, but wow, what a fucking clown.
Told that, hey, I can't get information out of things. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, right? But by the end of 2019, we had a significant amount of debt. And when the pandemic started in 2020, we had about $5.11 billion in debt. Then COVID hit, right? COVID hit. And when that happened, when COVID hit, a number of things was happening that we didn't foresee or understand. It was the fact that these lenders, right? The people that lent Adam Aron and AMC this money, they're right here. That's Glass, that's Citi, Goldman, Credit Suisse, Bank of America, Silver Lake, Mudrick, SIG.
Goldman lent AMC money? Yeah, citations needed. This is where proof needs to come in. Goldman Sachs lent AMC money. They straight up lent them money. Is that true? Does anybody know if there's any proof for that? I mean, I'm not going to go look it up. That's not our responsibility, quite frankly. If a claim is made and it's not sourced, it's not substantiated, it's not provided with proof, logic says it's on you, the person making the claim. It's your burden of proof, not ours. Now, a lot of the times I cheat and I go look things up, and I know that I'm not going to find it. I already know it's false, but I'll look it up anyway. I don't have to, but I do. And 9.5 times out of 10, it's not true. The other half of time, it was taken out of context or cherry picked or misinterpreted or something like that. With these idiots, absolutely. But Goldman Sachs lending AMC money, hadn't heard that one.
They didn't loan the money, but they were part of the hedge funds. But these guys were holding bonds and so on and so forth. And Goldman, of course, had purchased some shares outright after the squeeze. But what happened was, guys, when this thing happened, Adam Aron was doing business with these people. And if you remember from the discussion we had about bust-out schemes, where you accumulate a bunch of debt, the stock price actually goes down. First, there's a little bump, and the stock price actually goes down. Well, that's precisely what happened. The stock went down. And that's when everyone saw the blood in the water. Like, oh.
The stock went down, Al, because you even said the pandemic hit in 2020. What did that entail? That entailed everybody not going to the fucking movie theater. Now, it's absolutely absurd that this has to be broken down so simply, evidently. But if a business is not allowing customers to come in and exchange money for some product or service, that company is not generating revenue. Okay? Revenue is what drives the company. You have to have money coming in because you got money going out, but you don't have money coming in. Why? Because there's a pandemic. Everybody had to stay at home. People were dying. That's why the stock price went down, because their revenue basically dropped to zero. So what in the fuck are you talking about? This is
oh, AMC is going to tank and let's all short it and stuff. And when pandemic happened, yeah,
Yes, shorting it then was the proper trade to do. I mean, I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings that somebody would make a bet against. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings that a trader would make a bet with another trader. This is intra-market trading. This is not anything else, anything beyond that. It does not affect the company. It does not affect the company in the way that apes think it does. But it hurts their feelings to know that people bet against AMC's price going up. They thought it would go down. Guess what? It did. Why? Because they didn't generate revenue. They were effectively not operating their business. I mean, this is absurd. This guy has less business sense than a kid running a lemonade stand. He really does. He has less business sense than a 10-year-old operating a lemonade stand. Absurd.
yeah, it was reasonable to think if you're
Because if you ask that kid if it's raining outside, and this is the analogy for the pandemic, if it's raining outside, are you able to have your stand open? Well, technically you could have it open, but would you? Would you have your lemonade stand open in the rain? Probably not, because there's not going to be a lot of people walking down the street. There's not going to be a lot of customers. You're going to end up, you probably won't lose money, but yeah, you probably technically might, because you made the lemonade. You have a product that you prepared that has a shelf life. You've already made that, and you're sitting there with it. It's the product is expiring as you sit there, but nobody's buying it. So you have to throw that lemonade away and make more lemonade the next day. That is a cost that you have now lost. That's money that you've spent that you haven't recovered with sales. So no, you're not going to, because you don't have any foot traffic on the sidewalk when it's raining. Just like you don't have people in the movie theaters when the pandemic made everybody stay at home. It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. It's very basic. So then, does it make sense to bet against the lemonade stand making a lot of money that day? Hell yes, it makes sense. I'm going to short that lemonade stand. And that's what happened. But they have to dramatize it. They have to make it into this whole big thing because they don't understand these basic concepts. It's so ignorant. I can't believe 2 years later, we're still talking about this. But alas, we are.
short sell, this stock is going to go to zero because there's not going to be anybody that's going to be able to save this company because they're not able to show pictures for that.
I think that but Model 3, dude, I think even today's kids have a better sense of basic logic and common sense. Now, maybe that's wishful thinking. That's my hopium. That's the kind of hopium I deal in. But I would like to think that they would understand that, because it's like, would you go out and, if your friend had a lemonade stand, would you go out and support it if it's thunderstorm? But if it were an ape's kid, if it were the child of an ape, their parent, the ape, would probably their parent probably would tell them, the goddamn rain ruined your stand. Instead of saying, you know what, Billy, maybe it's not a good idea to set the stand up today. Maybe we'll just wait until the right time, which is a great analogy for trading too. Isn't it? Anyway. And Manny says, the irony is that AMC would be bankrupt today if it wasn't for short selling. Short sellers kept GME and AMC alive. I mean, that's really a good point. That's really a good point. And also, you know, what do we call it? The cushioning effect, of short selling, because a short sale will require a buy to close order to close out that position. So that is protection from downside. Protection from downside. It's guaranteeing that there's going to be buying in the future. If there were no short selling and only long positions being sold out, you wouldn't have that cushioning effect. You wouldn't have that built-in bounce that short selling gives you. So, I mean, that's a good point. Great point. Thank you.
That reason, right? But of course, the Redditors came in, they bought up the flow and squeezed a number of the lenders, hedge funds, and so on and so forth. These folks right here, right? When that happened, it left everybody in a precarious situation because now.
And so who are the manipulators then? Who were the manipulators? The people who saw an opportunity and capitalized on that? Or the people that saw someone taking an opportunity and capitalizing on that and polluting and conspiring and acting in bad faith to upset that? I say it was the latter, personally. The more I think about it, the more that it seems really that they were, you know, it was a spite thing. It was trying to upset this other thing because they didn't understand. They're not trying to bankrupt the company. Of course, 20-year-olds on Reddit, they're not going to go into those nuances. And they like to cite this company and this other OTC company, but the reality is short selling does not bankrupt companies. Short bankrupt companies. Short sellers short companies that are poorly performing. That is the deal with it. But you can't tell these people that because overstock.
These lenders, the very people that were loaning to us, were also short the stock. And now there weren't any shares left. And that put them in a much worse of a position, right? They had to keep the stock down. That's why Adam Aron kept buying these crappy cinemas, these defunct cinemas, Pacific ArcLight Boston, Highcroft Mining, Bowtie Cinemas. And they resulted in a lot of the money that we were generating for the company, buying merchandise and so on and so forth, and whatever was left in the movie theater business.
What?
We spent on more acquisitions, right? And he was still taking in capital, Silver Lake and Antara Capital as well. Now, one of the things that we had mentioned previously was when Adam Aron and these executives make a transaction that helps the company, they get a direct commission. So it's incentivized for them to.
Oh, here we go with this nonsense again. That's not what that fucking policy says. That is not what that policy is about. That is a complete fabrication. It's a complete fantasy. It's a complete lack of understanding. He didn't even read the policy. He didn't even read it properly. Wow. Oh my God. What an idiot.
Report showed 11 billion now of total liabilities. So there's debt and there's the unpaid rent and everything else. That's true. That's in the Delaware report. But we have right now currently 11 billion. It's actually grown since we.
Yes. The reason why AMC made acquisitions is because the executives got a commission. Give me a tell me you don't fucking understand the first thing about business without telling me. All Al has to do is open his goddamn mouth. And it's clear that he has no fucking clue. Wow. What an idiot.
On the other hand, just keeps buying movie theaters, right? Keeps buying movie theaters.
Because he's getting a commission.
Wasting money.
Fuck you, Al. Jesus Christ.
We talked about that. And it really put Adam in a situation because he's friends with these.
Yeah. Well, I seem to remember you hyping it, saying it was great, saying how Diane Garrett was a G. Give me a break. You pumped this shit. You were all up Adam Aron's fucking ass. What happened? Is it because he called you the idiot from Boston? Idiot from Boston.
These guys, they've done deals together for decades. And you can go back, you can see it online, you can Google it. And what has happened is, and it's sad,
it's so sad.
The mantra being, hey, let's keep the stock price down. Let's not put out any really good news. Let's temper it So it
What the fuck?
right? If you notice his behavior over the past couple of years in his tweets, you'll notice that he's always caveating things. He's always going into not really depth, but he's saying we're not out of the woods yet, as to indicate
Because they aren't. Adam Aaron wants to keep the stock price depressed. Yes, that's it. That is it. You cracked the case, Al. Again, no basic understanding. This is so brain dead. It's hurting my head.
You know, like there's a tempest that's going to blow down the stock at any moment. That's where all this need for equity and so on and so forth came from. That's the role of Antara. So I'm going to go into the next section here.
Jesus Christ.
Scheme for the Project Popcorn. Now, Citi took the lead on this, right? Citi had a massive position against AMC, even though we were their clients, they were shorting against us. And Antara sits right in a really.
I mean, let's see some proof of that, Al. Do you have proof of that? I mean, where are you getting this from? They have a short position against you. Okay. Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? Where are you getting this from? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him show it. I mean, there is no citation, no factual basis that's presented for anything that he has said in this video. It's garbage.
Intersection, because Antara, in terms of lenders, uses Goldman, it uses Morgan Stanley, uses Bank of America. So they sit right in the center of it. And they were the only people that they all had a vested interest in. So Antara was delegated to do this relationship. And hence Project Popcorn was there. Antara had already been chosen months earlier. So they approached Adam Aaron, B. Riley, all these folks. They went to Computershare saying, hey, we need to stack the deck. Antara said, we need a windfall to do this because it's fraud. There's a lot of risk involved. And a private placement deal was done. $100 million. Antara would vote yes. All the absent voters would get yeses. The Computershare would do the vote. All the no's would be tabulated. And everybody else, including other institutional holders, would all vote yes. So the vote was rigged. There was documentation in the email, in the discovery document, and Delaware Chin's report that stipulated this, right? And of course, Antara made billions. I presume it's Brazilians. It's billions now because they've been selling so much, and they're waiting, of course, like a lot of AMC shareholders for an arbitrage play. But we're not going to get into that right now. We're going to keep going. And Adam Aaron kept saying there was fake share counts and stuff, and I don't believe these existed. I don't believe there's a record for it on Delaware Chin's report to place this. But that's how this whole relationship is manifested. Antara,
I love it. I love it.
Center point for all these hedge funds.
You know, I mean, this guy has an imagination on him. I'll tell you that. I mean, seriously. God damn. I mean, it's like he thinks that everything Adam Aaron has done has been fraudulent. Oh, the share counts, they didn't exist. There weren't any share counts, actually. No. I don't believe they existed. You have no proof of that. No proof. And yes, AMC was trying to expand so that they could keep the stock price down for Citigroup. Keep it down for Citigroup. Yeah, let's remember the banks, guys. We don't want to upset them.
Because Antara has relationships with all of them because they owe money to these companies. Remember, Antara used to short AMC as well, and they were using these companies, these big Wall Street hedge funds and banks to loan from. But that's not all that they did. These hedge funds wanted to go the extra step to help reduce the AMC stock value and destroy the reputation of AMC. So what did they do? Let's scroll down here. Here we have the.
That's not. No. Oh my God. Look at all of this Look at this Can you believe that somebody would sit down and actually create this? This is absurd. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow.
The actual market manipulation. Now, for those of you who are new to this play.
Look, he's got limit up, limit down committee. Yes, they conspired with the limit up, limit down committee to create the halts. It's not like it's algorithmic or triggered by a computer. I guarantee he's going to say that. Listen, oh my God.
Two kinds of brokers. There's PFOF brokers, which is payment for order flow, and regular brokers. Regular brokers.
This shit is so dangerous. I hope to God that people don't actually believe what the fuck he's saying. This is so brain dead. Wow.
And then you got PFOF brokers like Ameritrade, E-Trade, Robinhood, Schwab, Fidelity, TradeStation that report to Citadel, the market maker. Now they perform what's called latency.
Fidelity is not a payment for order flow fucking brokerage. That's false. That's 100% false. Fidelity does not accept payment for order flow unless they have changed in the last year, which I don't think that they have. This guy talks out of his ass. He talks out of his ass. Fidelity and Merrill Lynch, Merrill Edge are the two non-payment for order flow brokerages. Those two are the non-payment for order flow brokerages. Everyone else is.
Latency arbitrage. Latency arbitrage is just a sophisticated way of saying from the time you submit your order to the time it hits the NYSE, they can front run you, right? We know about this because it's Citadel, the hedge fund, that does it. They can tabulate and coordinate with the market maker section of the company and do derivatives based on what's happening. So they know that if you bet AMC is going to go to this dollar amount, they'll do everything in their power to make sure that it doesn't get to that point. And that's the latency arbitrage part. And also, all the buy orders we have, it goes into this thing right here called the dark pool, and it gets parked there. It doesn't hit the NYSE until whenever they want it to. So it gets.
No, not true. Well, first of all, it doesn't hit the NYSE. It does not go to the exchange. That's the whole point of off-exchange execution, you fucking idiot, okay? It doesn't hit the NYSE. It hits the tape immediately. That trade is reported to the tape immediately. We've done experiments. Go on Robinhood. Get set up to buy a share. Open up Fidelity, which has a live time and sales window. It will show you every transaction as it happens. A ticker tape, time and sales. Have both windows open. Hit submit on the Robinhood buy order. Guess what? It show and you know, hit it at a certain time, whatever. Do a certain unique number of shares, do 3 shares or 7 shares, something off the beaten path, or just do 1 share, doesn't matter. You could match up the timestamp on both. You'll see it hit the tape immediately. Immediately. They don't park orders. It does not happen. There is no there is no mechanism by which that can happen. That is some Lou fantasy bullshit. And don't even get me started on that motherfucker right now. The convicted fraudster. So many of these concepts came from Lou. It's insane. It is insane. The literal convicted fraudster. How many views on this crap? I think it was about 1.2. Yeah, about 1,200. And yeah, you can see your trades hit the tape. Absolutely. I've done it many times. This parking order BS is from Lou. Yes, it absolutely is. It's funny how Lou says something and then it gets, you know, then that's the danger of allowing somebody like that to do something like this. They're ruining people's conceptions of this stuff. Well, no, I correct myself. They have ruined people's conceptions of this stuff. You're going to have people who, for the rest of their lives, think that these things are true. They're not going to ever look into it or verify it. All right, continuing. Oops. Evergreens. Do you think Mullen will start production in July like they promised? I bought 350 call contracts expiring 2024 and 2025. I have no idea why anybody would do that. I don't know if Mullen will start production in July. Probably not. I don't know why everybody's obsessed with these shit companies. Quite frankly, it's poor investing. But hey, good luck, I guess. But I don't understand why people will be bullish when a stock continues to go down. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. And I don't need an explanation. I don't care. But no, I think you probably just wasted your money.
It sits there. The delay in the order flow kills the volatility, which kills upward price movement. And the sell orders are all
The
consolidated.
delay in order flow kills the delay in order flow. What are you talking about? The delay in order flow. No. You know what doesn't contribute to volatility? Retail investors buying 5 shares, retail investors buying 10, 100 shares. That does not move the price. It will never move the price. It doesn't matter if it's on the lit exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, or off exchange. It doesn't matter. That is never going to move the price. It's never going to move the price. Never. Not once.
Until they reach a critical mass. And then when you need a dramatic price drop, because we got good news from the company or something with some FOMO buying, they'll drop all the sell orders at one time, and the stock will just plummet. They also have the New York Stock Exchange involved. Specifically,
it doesn't make any sense. He was talking about buy orders. Now all of a sudden he's saying that they're holding the orders until there's news or something, and then that'll make the price go down. You've got to be kidding me. This is the worst explanation of anything. Fuck me. Okay, just fuck me.
The lulled committee, limit up, limit down.
Here we go.
Kill volatility because they can perform halts on the stock trade. And we've all seen those. We'll talk about those later. Citigroup on the
those happen based on rules that we have displayed. We've not only displayed and gone over the rules themselves, but we have shown on a chart where there was a halt. We have shown that the rule was followed. There are certain conditions that have to be met. We showed that the conditions were met. Therefore, it was halted. Al is saying that it happens subjectively. It happens when they, quote unquote, they want it to. That's not true. It's just not true. There's no evidence for it, and there is evidence for the rules being followed. So again, this is wrong. 100% wrong, misinformation.
On the other hand, had another plan. They had Brazilian depository receipts, BDRs, where these are stock certificates that represent owners, ownership stakes in certain shares in foreign stock. So they were using that to short it. They were all.
Why would you assume that it would go to $2? This is a company that has not made a product, and you're speculating with $3,000. And don't ever think that a stock cannot go lower. Or on the flip side, as we've seen recently with some things like NVIDIA, don't ever think that a stock can't go higher. But in this case, the relevant side of it is don't ever think that it can't go lower. Again, good, great, I guess.
Also using foreign exchanges.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
QSIP is almost like a social security number for a stock, if you will, in so many words. Basically, when this happened.
That is the worst analogy for a QSIP number I have ever heard. A social security number? Does he realize that each individual American has a unique social security number? There's only one with my number. Literally one person. No, it's like a UPC code, you dumb fuck. No fucking clue what he's talking about. This is so ridiculous.
We had multiple ways to short the stock to keep the price down. Because there's.
And by the way, no, they're not using FTX. They did not use FTX. They did not use tokenized shares. There is no mechanism by which a tokenized share, which didn't even exist, by the way, that there was no tokenized shares. There's no mechanism by which that can be used in the equity market. You're talking about different markets. But no, of course. Yes. Oh, they used tokenized shares. Yeah, of course. Okay, of course.
So much activity in AMC. There was so much buy orders. Now, FINRA, on the other hand, had their own exchange. Charlie's Vids talked about that. They had their own portfolio. Their own stock portfolio. And it's a conflict of interest, of course. We won't talk about that. We'll talk about that a little later.
Charlie's Vids, another brain dead one.
We also have to talk about the SEC. specifically Gary Gensler and Hester Pierce. Hester Pierce had produced a document April 20, I think it was April 13th, 2021, regarding tokenized securities, allowing FTX to start to naked short sell using cryptos assets on the crypto exchange. Melvin and others.
Wrong. Not true.
So you got, let's just take a look. FTX, FINRA, you got limit up, limit down, you got the dark pools, you got foreign exchanges, you got city depository receipts, you got naked short selling, right? So you have 6, 7 ways to short the stock down for, they took them 3 years, take it from 72 to where it is right now. And that is what's happening currently with AMC stock and APE. We're currently in the trial stages of this. So if you want to know, this is where we are at right now. We're trying to stop this. So
Al, 2023 minus 2021 is 2 motherfucking years. 2 years. He said 3 years. Where are they getting this shit from? He can't even do basic arithmetic. No, that's not what happened. Anyway, I'm here. I'm here, Model 3 dude. Can you not hear me?
These people are going to flood the market with millions and billions of shares of AMC Common when the transaction's over, which will
millions and billions.
And well, that just kind of destroys everything, doesn't it? That's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys found value on it. Alpha Boston signing out.
No, there's no value here. No value. I mean, what the fuck? You know what? It's there's billions of shares.
Billions and 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 billions.
They couldn't stop it. I mean, there's no good place to stop. There's no place to stop it. So, okay, so 10,000 foot view. It's more like, well, maybe it is a 10,000 foot view. It's a 10,000 foot view of a crash site. The plane crashed into the mountain, so to speak. We're 10,000 feet above it. Maybe not 10,000, but yeah. 10,000 foot view of a dumpster fire, the biggest dumpster fire that we've seen. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, no place to stop. It's even funnier, right? Now, let's go. All right, I'm here. Let's see market moves with Tony. I'm getting a little bit. I'm curious to see here what he's got today.
Let me give you an example of why I think you.
Okay, give us an example. Let's talk about oil. Okay, let's talk about fucking oil. Sure.
Hello and welcome to the show. Today is June 18th, 2023. It is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Today we'll be talking about what used to be a stock symbol Mmtlp, what is now the private company NextBridge Hydrocarbons, and we'll be talking about oil today. So let me start by saying I am not a financial advisor.
God, this guy is something else.
Oil in the Rio Grande Basin. And to them, I have to say...
Wait.
About it. Now... Let me start by saying that there's a lot of people who say that there's no oil in the Rio Grande Basin. And to them, I have to say, I'm not a geologist. I haven't gone there myself.
Well, that's good. I thought he was going to say that, no, there is oil there. I saw it myself.
Drilled into the earth, recovered the oil, had it analyzed. So, I'm really not the guy to talk to if you don't think that there's oil there. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of people also who say that, the moon landings are fake and the moon is really made of cheese. But,
oh boy, that was serendipitous because we managed to catch a straw man argument. Wow. So, being skeptical about the claims from a, basically a non-existent company, is akin to saying that the moon landings were faked and that the moon is made of cheese. That's great. That's fantastic. And I'll tell you what, Model 3 dude, I watched Capricorn 1 about 20 years ago. And that was absolutely it was an absolutely fascinating film. And I can't remember when it came out. It was in the 70s, maybe 77, starring, among others, O.J. Simpson. How about that? How about that? That's you know what? I'm getting flashes of Starship here for some reason. I don't know. You think it's possible that they could pull something like that off? I don't know. You know what? I don't know what I'm saying, really.
is that what you're saying? Or are you saying what are you saying? Huh?
No, the MMTL freaks haven't stopped yet. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I feel bad for all these psychopaths. The ticker list goes on. Bag of holding is a trait that continues with these people. I don't feel bad for them because they themselves did the trade. They themselves bought it. Now, I I I can understand possibly how some people could be easily influenced and whatever else, but I mean one of the early things that I learned in this business, and it's not my business, but in this area, in this field, is that you don't ever trust anybody, quite frankly. You have to be able to evaluate the information. You have to come to the decision because ultimately you are going to be the one on the hook. It's all you. So, and that really goes for everything in life, essentially. So it's a question of responsibility. It's a question of owning up to your decisions. It's a question of, if you're into the sort of heteronormative gender thing, being a man, and even Lynn, person here without a penis, can be a man when it comes to owning up to what you did and saying, you know what, I screwed up. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses or blame everybody else. I did it. For better or worse, I did it. That's a finance chat inside joke, which seems like a good point to bring this up. Finance chat, link in the description. This is our channel chat group, community, if you will. It really is more than a chat, but have some balls and join the finance chat already. Quite frankly, what the hell? I'll borrow a phrase from my friend Phil. I am this retarded for real, and say, have you joined the finance chat yet? No? And what the fuck are we talking about? You know what I'm talking about. The link's in the description. It's obviously free. It's obviously fun. And it's obviously something that everybody here should consider. Unfortunately, these comment spammers ruined the perception of Telegram, but it is a good platform. In fact, I prefer it to Discord. One reason is it's an open source. It's an open source platform. Now, maybe that doesn't matter to some people. It doesn't really matter to me, but it is an open source platform. There are third-party clients. The Telegram client itself, program, application is open source. You can take the code and change it, create your own messenger. Maybe that's what we should do. Create a Scott Alkin Enterprises messenger. I might do that. But it's a better platform in a lot of ways. Also, well, yeah. Also, it's not Discord. And now they have the topics within the group, so we can split things up more. Anyway, it's good. It's getting better. So join Telegram finance chat. The link is in the description. We'll see you there. At Model 3 dude, I'm trying to think about how I can make this happen. And I'll tell you what. It may not be an 800 number, but if I can get a San Diego local number, would that work? Would that work? It would be a local call for you. I just need to know which area code you're in, because I can get any number. I got a guy, got a numbers guy. He can give me a number. So, but we're going to get a phone. We're going to get a call-in phone number for Model 3 dude and others who would prefer to call in and be on the stream, which, by the way, we do, which, by the way, maybe I should do now, setting up the voice chat in Telegram and patch that in. So whoever wants to come in and, join in the fun here, making fun of these idiots with us, can do so. Lynn, I'm looking at you. Where's Ron, by the way? I think he's at the concert. He's at the Three Doors Down. He's at the Candlebox Three Doors Down concert. Oh, thanks, Model 3 dude. You are on fire yourself. That comment on Stock and Crypto Creeps poll. I mean, I just came across that poll earlier, and then was looking through the comments because I was going to leave one, and then I saw yours, and I don't need to leave one. I'll reply to yours, but clearly, and I'll even use the O word. Obviously, Model 3 dude, you do not stand for justice and fairness, or whatever he said. Clearly, you don't. What a piece of work. Can we not limit the idiots we make fun of? Limit them? It's just so much fun, though.
And to those people, I also have to say, I haven't gone to the moon. I've I've heard that there are people who took a rocket ship and
See, now this is so interesting to me because here you have an Asian guy. Who's not smart. This guy is not smart. I hate to bring up these stereotypes, but I mean, I went to college with a lot of Asians. My ex-wife went to medical school with a lot of Asians of various flavors or brands or whatever you want to call it. And so I have a lot of Asian friends. I don't have any Asian friends that are this dumb. I never, well, quite frankly, I don't think I have any friends that are this dumb. But this type of what you call it, straw man argument is it's even worse coming from a guy like this because he's trying to project this intelligent, erudite type of vibe. And, yeah. So the implication here is you cannot talk about anything unless you have experienced it yourself, right? So if I say, well, the Titan submersible pressure vessel was constructed of carbon fiber, and carbon fiber is very insidious when it comes to cracking. So you'll get a stress fracture crack, but you won't see it. It'll be in one of the layers. You can't see it. And as that thing is used more, that stress fracture ultimately creates a failure catastrophically. But I can't say that because I've never worked with carbon fiber. I've never been on that vessel. I didn't see it happen. That's garbage. So is the Titan thing. But you couldn't make any claims if this were the case, which is why you have to critically think about it. You have to educate yourself on something with authoritative sources, trustworthy sources. You have to be able to evaluate those sources, and then you have to be able to synthesize the information and apply it. It is a lot to ask, I guess, but I've never found it to be impossible or even that hard, really. The trick is, here's the trick. You don't go public with your information. You don't talk about it until you know. You don't talk about it until you know. And then when you do talk about it, you talk honestly about it. Then you don't really have to remember which lie you told that day, which misinformation spin you put on it that day, because you just told the truth. And you know it's the truth because you took the time to look into it and learn. And you're not doing retroactive DD. You're not doing retroactive DD. You're doing preemptive DD. You're doing the research before you take the action, not after. And so, like, this is some of the most ignorant argumentation that I've ever heard. It's not even argumentation. It's invalid. It is an invalid approach. So I'm not really inclined to go any further on this one. Plus, this is way too long, and I don't care that much about oil. I just don't. But I just wanted to see if you had anything out. This Asian guy is clearly poor and coping with his losses through other poor people on YouTube. He doesn't work at a hedge fund or banks, making tons of money with those friends. These are his people. But that doesn't excuse any of it, does it? I mean, it really, to me, it comes down to a couple different things. Number one, being honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself. They can't be honest with themselves. They certainly cannot be honest with their audience. And that kind of leads into the sub point of failure being necessary. Failure is necessary. And it's kind of like profit in your trading account. It's not really yours until you realize it. You take it. You make it yours. You take it out of your account, you put it in your bank account. Likewise, failure, it doesn't really count until you acknowledge it and accept it. And well, I guess realize it first and acknowledge it, accept it, and then ultimately embrace it. And they haven't even realized it yet. I mean, some people have realized it, but they have not accepted it, and they have not admitted it, and they certainly haven't embraced it in a positive way. So it really is a cowardly way to be. It's cowardly. You're not admitting, you can't admit reality. You can't say, you know what? I was so sure of that. I thought it was obvious. And guess what? I was obviously wrong. That's what you have to do. And you have to say, it was my fault. That's not what people want to do. They don't want to take responsibility. But if the trading account is in your name, there's only one person to blame. Hey, how about that for a tagline? If the account's in your name, there's only one person to blame. I like that. Everyone here has the potential to be a great YouTuber for an army of bag holders and manipulate their psyches for months just for entertainment purposes. You have potential. Well, everyone here is in the chat or everyone on YouTube, all these grifters. I mean, it doesn't take much skill to do what they're doing. Although having a manipulative type of disposition, manipulative personality certainly helps. And it's so weird. They all kind of do. They're all so manipulative, and no one likes a raincoat. Oh boy. Oh boy. Carbon fiber road bike that you had to replace because it was too dangerous. Yeah, you know what? That is I've never really gotten into the carbon fiber thing. But you know, I did watch some videos and I, saw um, a couple technical explanations of things and stuff like that. And I think it's one of those. It's just one of those things where this is, yeah, in reference to the sub. Um, you know, there are a lot of different types of materials out there that are, appropriate for this thing or that thing. And, in the 90s and 2000s, there was a lot of, I mean, that's when this carbon fiber bikes, I think, became popular. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I remember hearing about them, and I knew maybe somebody who had one, but I didn't really think about it too much. And but from what I understand, and even somebody like James, we talked about James Cameron, um, who's probably the probably the person on probably the person who knows the most about not carbon fiber, but Titanic. And he's the person who's actually been to it the most um, on actual respectable professional vessels the right way. He did it the right way. Um, is he a material scientist? No. Is he, an engineer? I don't think so. But um, he's experienced in this field. So as a as a user, as a passenger, as an explorer. So I think I don't know, Lynn. Stockton Rush did not know the most, if that's who you're referring to, the CEO. Um, I don't I think that I mean, as far as I know, nobody has actually been to the site as many times as James Cameron has. I know the French guy. Oh, well, that doesn't count. French doesn't matter. Just kidding. Yes, he. Thank you. Jim Cameron understands the law of physics. Um, he so I would not call him an engineer. Um, Mainly because he doesn't have a degree. He actually doesn't have a degree in anything. Not That's not a pejorative statement at all. It's a statement of fact, as far as I can tell. So anyway, I'm not going to split hairs over that. He's not a professional engineer. That was never his job. But um, you know, he spoke out against, or raised concerns about using that material. Of course, you have to have the person in charge of the thing understand that you need experts in the thing in order to make the thing function properly. So there's a lot of, I mean, this is going to sound terrible, and I'm not celebrating the loss of anybody's lives. It's tragic. It's a tragedy. The families, it's absolutely just, it's unimaginable, right? But in some way, uh, this type of, we don't need this type of thing. I hope that doesn't sound like, I'm a callous psychopath, and I may be, but I'm, we don't need rigged up, half-assed, unregulated products out there in any field, but certainly one where, the natural habitat of our species is not compatible, you know, with where this product is designed to operate, and there's absolutely no checks and balances in the system. To me, that is unsustainable, and it's not something that really that we should want as a society. That's opinions thrown in there, but generally speaking, if you compare it to aviation, one of the safest, if not the safest mode of transportation, it's a stark difference, especially because, as Lynn pointed out in the video that she shared with us in the finance chat, um, the CEO said that he wanted to model his company and the thing itself off of, partially or largely off of aerospace principles, aerospace engineering principles, and things like that. But he failed at that. I mean, not just because of this, but you know, several of the design elements were completely illogical, and showed a lack of understanding of even the most high-profile aerospace disasters. So it was a bad situation. It's better that this does not continue to happen. It shouldn't have to come to, and this is an argument for regulation. Just to be clear, it's an argument for people not being able to just sell whatever they want and say whatever they want to about it in order to sell it. Um, because at the end of the day, you know, that's not what creates trust. It's not what creates a valid marketplace of products and ideas. It's just not good. It's just not good. So I don't really want to go into it more than that, but it's it's bizarre, and I guess the positive way to look at it is um, and no, we shouldn't stop exploration. But these people were not explorers. They weren't scientists. They weren't doing this for science. They weren't doing it to contribute to knowledge, the base of knowledge. They were doing it, presumably for profit and for the thrill. James Cameron is an explorer in my eyes. These people were not explorers. And if you listen to what former employees and whistleblowers and people like that said too, the guy was wacky, and it was just a bad situation. But it shouldn't have to come to this for these things to happen. And people want to be regular. People want, perhaps the most retarded example in recent months or years was, the new Twitter owners complete lack of understanding of the principle of freedom of speech, and the idea of free speech absolutism, which is not a thing. It's never supposed to be a thing. It's not what's in our government documents. That's not it. And I find it curious that people who immigrate here from other countries, they tend not to understand much at all about the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. It's really fascinating. It's almost like they didn't learn about it when we did as kids or whatever. But to be fair, a lot of natural American citizens born in the United States also don't understand it. But it's just, it's so fringe to see that type of shit, because we saw what happened. We saw what happened with that, and all the fake of this and fake of that were being verified and all this. There is nothing in our system that guarantees absolute free speech for everybody everywhere. It's not what it was intended to be. It's not what it is. That's not what the Supreme Court says it is. So anyway, now didn't Rush I mean, did Elon actually create a submersible though? I mean, he was going to, I guess, right? But I'm not. I don't remember. I wasn't really paying attention when all that was happening. Okay, we'll do a couple more videos, and it's almost, well, it's 12:30, so we'll close this out at 1 o'clock. So 30 minutes. We'll see how quickly, or see how he does say a lot of things, doesn't he? And I wonder how much of it is stuff that he actually believes. But I mean, this as well as I do. Words have consequences. Okay. And that's really the thing about freedom of speech. Sure, you can say whatever you want, but there might be consequences. It might not be that you're arrested or that you get sued, but there may be consequences, or there will be blood. I don't know. I just wanted to say that. This is no country for old men.
Let me put this out there. Have you noticed?
I don't know. I just remember those two movies. Rush wanted to be an astronaut, but his vision prohibited that. Probably his addiction to pain medication too. Oh, not Rush Limbaugh. Sorry. Babbling genius. Well, I agree with the babbling part. I'll agree with the babbling part, Model 3 dude, but you know, I also, to be fair, to use the Asian dude's conception of truth, I've never talked to Elon Musk. I've never had a conversation with him, so who am I to say? Who am I to say? Um, but anyway, let's do Lou. From Lou with love.
Let me put this out there. Have you noticed since we started challenging everything and started calling things out and started saying no to this and started pointing out that the postcards, we didn't get them. A lot of people.
You did not have to receive them. You didn't understand what the deal was with the postcards. You weren't necessarily ever going to receive one. Learn about what was required by the court. That's what you need to do.
People are not even at the same address they were before. So at the end, I'm sure they voted yes though, right? But here's the deal. Throughout this entire process that we started to say no. Remember how popcorn was in the beginning? Make sure to vote. Make sure to vote. Motherfucker, you knew at the end of the day it was CompuShare and Antera that were going to vote. But you were telling us make sure to vote. You were doing the perception of the vote. You were trying to cover this up. You fucking...
I don't see how he was trying to cover it up when it was in the documents. It was in the proxy. It said that they would vote. It said that Antara would vote yes for this action. It said that in the document before the vote took place. This is retroactive DD that was not done when it should have been done. We talked about this. We showed where it said that, and we noted it. I don't understand how he thinks he can sit here and grift and say that they're trying to cover it up. It was not hidden. It was in the motherfucking documents. And we said, oh yeah, it looks like that's going to be a yes vote because da-da-da-da-da-da. That's not news. That is not news. This was known. It should have been known. But see, this is the problem. You know I got to do it. This is what happens.
This is what happens when you work to change things, and first
I'll let the whole
crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
And you go to prison for 11 years. But there are people who think this. There are people, who think that oh, they tried to trick us and all this stuff. Motherfucker, it's because you didn't read the fucking document. It's because you didn't read the document. It's because you didn't understand what the fuck you were getting into before you got into it. And does that usually work out well? Well, sometimes. But other times, no. So, yeah, he's babbling. It's just babbling. And also, we're not going to have time to do it today. Maybe I'll do a video on it tomorrow, or maybe we'll do another live stream tomorrow. But this Forbes article slamming Wes Christensen that Manny found, posted in Finance Chat. By the way, Manuel is a master researcher for this shit. He finds the stuff he finds. I don't know how he finds it. But I'm so glad that he does, because I don't find half the shit. And I can't even find it once I know that it's there and I'm searching for a phrase that I know is there or the title. I can't even find it. And he finds this stuff blind. I don't know. But the Forbes article talking about Wes Christian is absolutely fascinating to me too, because it's not, it's not, this is the first time there have been articles about him and featuring him, but they were supportive articles. This is the first time I've personally seen anyone questioning that guy and saying, you know, basically this is bullshit. I'd like to see any of his supposed evidence for this naked shorting that he says is rampant. I don't think it exists. I don't think anybody's seen it. And just exactly who is Share Intel anyway? I don't know. We'll look at this stuff tomorrow or Sunday. But yeah, it was amazing, and I do want to go over it. There's a lot of stuff. HMC. I haven't watched that video yet. The cracked video with Roger Horton. Oh man, was he David Bowie was the cracked actor? Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna check that video out. I don't want to play it on here because I know I'll get copy struck for it. So, but somebody like Lou, I'm not going to get a copyright violation for this. So let's go.
At the end of the day, you were just covering this up because you wanted to make it look like we voted yes for this. The yes voted for the reverse split. It was overwhelming. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't at all. And now he went silent completely across the board. Let me tell you something. Everything is there to launch whatever lawsuits you want to do afterwards. That's why they need this. That's why they need Vice Chancellor Zern.
Oh, yeah.
Rubber stamp this.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That is fantastic. Yep. Lawsuits. As if the apes haven't thrown enough money away on AMC. Now Lou's advocating that they throw money away on losing lawsuits. Lawsuits that will never see the light of day. That have no merit or standing. Wow, that's amazing. Good job, Lou. This guy never stops getting people to waste their money. Yeah, with what money? Exactly. With what money are they going to do this? They've already thrown away their life savings because they listened to your dumb ass for some reason. For some reason. I can't understand why. Maybe they're all scammers too, and it's a big like scam fest. Like, you know, there's a scam federation and or something, or like scammers believe others. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. I have no clue why anybody would listen to anything this guy says, except the way we do to pick it apart and laugh at it. So ridiculous.
When they go to court, they can go, wait a minute, but in the court process, Vice Chancellor Zern okayed this settlement. We're just doing as the court instructed. You understand? That's the level of scumbag we're dealing with. That's why this is, you don't get it. I swear on my fucking mother, this will be the last fucking stock I fucking touch. Popcorn, let me tell you something.
Yeah, and breaking news, Lou doesn't have a mom. Lou is motherless. Not motherless.com, but Lou was raised by wolves. Something. Swear on your mother, huh? It's the last stock you touch? What happened to all those after AMC plays? After AMC, what are we going to go into next? What am I going to pump next? Give me a break. Bullshit.
Keep the fuck away from me in your life path. Because I think about the people that are going to get fucked up in this.
Well, why weren't you thinking about them when you were fucking them up? Why weren't you thinking about them when you were telling people outright lies, manipulating them and making them, you know, feel like they had to get in on this thing that was imminent to happen any day? Free beer tomorrow. What about that? But now he has a conscience because it's Adam Aaron. Adam Aaron's the fraud. Adam Aaron's the scammer. No, Adam Aaron is a CEO. Adam Aaron is the CEO. Do you take what CEOs say, especially when communicating to the shareholders, do you take that at face value? or not? I say, no, you don't. I say, you realize insiders are not aligned. Their interests are not aligned with individual retail investors' profit interests. They're not buying when you're buying. They're not selling when you're selling. Let me say it a different way. You're not selling when they are selling. That's really what you need to know. The insiders, retail investors are not selling when the insiders sell. So it's a different, I don't want to use the word because it's so tainted by these idiots like Zero Data and I mean going all the way back to Astro, but they're on different cycles. Retail investors are not selling when insiders are selling generally, which is unfortunate because when the insiders sell, they, they make money. Yeah, they didn't pay for their shares and yeah, blah, 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 blah. But it's not like you're not peers. Let me put it that way. Executives and shareholders are not peers. And at the end of the day, each investor may have bought the stock at a different price. So there is literally, it's not possible. It's not even possible for the CEO to please every shareholder in terms of ensuring that they can sell for a profit. That is not his job. It is not his job to make sure that you sell your AMC shares at a profitable moment. It is physically and otherwise impossible, and also irrelevant to his job of leading the company, directing the ship, avoiding the icebergs, if you will, and coming out on the other side, a profitable company. There is so, I mean, and Lynn, correct me if I misspoke on anything there, but I don't get this glorification of these corporate executives, this assumption that fiduciary duty means that I'm not supposed to lose money. That's not what that means. That is not what that means. Stop believing that. Stop listening to anybody who says that. If they do, they're full of shit. They don't understand anything about any of this. Fiduciary duty does not mean that you're not going to lose money. Whether you lose money or not is up to you, not the CEO. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Isn't it wild? National CEO worship is off the charts. That's insane. It's insane. And I'm not saying to hate the people, but you're not peers. Although, and this is where face value comes in. Because if you are gullible, if you're a gullible person, you can convince yourself when you hear Adam Aaron say things like, oh, I'm a retail shareholder too. No, motherfucker, you are not. You are not a fucking average individual retail fucking investor. Number one, you didn't pay for your shares. Number two, you're the fucking CEO. You have all the information. Shareholders have none of the information. You're not a retail fucking investor. That was part of your compensation that you got those shares. So it doesn't matter where the fuck you sell them, at what price, it's going to be profit. I can't stand when he says that. I can't stand when they say that because it can lead people to believe that they're peers. You're not fucking peers. They have a job. You have a job with respect to a company. They're not the same jobs, not the same anything. anyway, if they held their money, it would have been better. Maybe, or maybe it wouldn't have happened at all. But it, you know, and I, Ryan Cohen bought GameStop shares. He's all in. I mean, that is some Morant's rants, brain dead nonsense right there. That RC is all in. If you listen to Morant's rants, he'll tell you that Ryan Cohen is the CEO too. So, I mean, I don't think these guys can read. I think they really struggle with reading and reading comprehension, or they just choose not to. But I mean, I, I don't. The problem is that it is part of their compensation. It is part of their compensation. So, like, why? If you're a CEO of AMC and your stock is going down, continuing to go down, why would you buy it? Why would you buy it? You wouldn't buy it because you understand that it's about making money. You understand it's about making money. So you trade something else. And RC owns a fuckload of GME, personal money. Yeah, I don't care. That doesn't mean that he's not going to lose money, or that it doesn't mean that GameStop will be a profitable, successful company in the future. Doesn't mean that, which is what a lot of people seem to assume that it means. But the reality is, because Ryan Cohen has been put on a pedestal unnecessarily and unfoundedly, in my opinion, those actions, like buying a fuckload of shares with his own personal money, that has a material influence on retail investors because they believe in this myth of Ryan Cohen, the savior. Ryan Cohen, boy wonder, he can do no wrong. So let me just put it this way. CEOs manipulate. They manipulate perception. And honestly, quite honestly, that's part of their job. So I'm not saying it's, illegal or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you want to create a bullish sentiment, if you want to create a hopeful sentiment, yeah, somebody like Ryan Cohen going out and buying a lot of shares with his own money, not a bad way to do it. People are going to follow that. That's the problem. They're going to follow it, and first of all, they're always going to be late. Retail investors are always going to be late following insider buys and sells. You'll never catch it at the same time. You'll never catch it. They know when to do it. In general, following trades is like that. Doesn't matter where they come from. Yeah, I mean, he bought recently. I heard about that. I mean, I mean, if you were the CEO, wouldn't you at this point? Like, GameStop does not have a lot going for it. He doesn't have, I mean, the company doesn't have a lot of selling points. They look at it this way. GameStop needed Ryan Cohen to do that. It's not that Ryan Cohen necessarily even believes the shit. It's that the company is in fucking trouble. So here's this boy wonder, goes out and buys a lot of shares. Oh, well, he believes in the company, so Marantz Rants, Mr. Floor Sweeper, with my critical thinking skills, I think I should buy some too. Yeah. You just got fucking manipulated, you dumb fucker. Like, this is the game. This is the fucking game. Exactly. This is the fucking game. GameStop benefits, in my opinion, from that, in terms of setting up for dilution. That's what I see. Because at the end, or either setting up for dilution, or more likely, Ryan Cohen just personally making money off of a pump and dump. Because that's exactly what he did, as Manny's pointing out, with Bed Bath & Beyond. That whole thing still blows my mind. I mean, how much was it? Like 60 million or something like that he netted off that? I mean, like, that will never not be a dirty deal in my mind. Like, dirty in the sense that it's typical, insider, rich person, bullshit, basically. Like, people believed in him. They believed in his leadership or whatever. And for a minute, Bed Bath & Beyond was like the shit in terms of popularity, meme stock, whatever it was pumping. And I mean, I hate to keep saying this, but it's true. We talked about this when it happened, as it was happening, saying this is bullshit. Like, there's a very high chance that this is bullshit. It doesn't make sense. Fundamentally, the fundamentals are not there. It's not there. And then you had dumbass Trey sitting there saying, oh, the 144 form doesn't mean that he's already sold. It just means that he's intending to sell in the next 6 months. Blah, blah, blah. No, motherfucker. And then 2 days later, the forms were filed. The forms hit the Edgar system, and we found out, oh, actually, he did sell then. Trey was wrong, and he never admitted it because he's a little bitch. I'm sure he still is a little bitch, so I'll say it in the present tense. You're a little what? Oh, my soundboard just quit. Well, anyway. So anyway, let's see if I can do this again.
You're being a little bitch.
There we go. There we go. I mean, to me, that whole Ryan Cohen, Bed Bath & Beyond thing was about as shocking and unexpected as Charles Payne saying to Dave Portnoy on TV that time in 2021. But there are other commonalities in that both were done for show. Both were done for show. Both were done to create a sentiment, a mood, and manipulate people into feeling or doing certain things. So, yeah, Ryan Cohen. But getting back to the topic here, Adam Aaron's he is not a standard shareholder. He's just not. He says he is because, again, it creates a mood, it creates a sentiment, may inspire action that would be beneficial to the company and or to Adam Aaron himself. I don't think Adam Aaron needs to worry about that, but just because somebody doesn't need to doesn't mean that they aren't trying to do it. One thing about wealth and money is when you have it, even when you have it, you still want more. There can never be enough. That's why, I'm fortunate that I grew up poor. quite frankly, because I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to, that's not a thing for me. And so hopefully that doesn't change when I do get life-changing wealth with this coming MOAS. So anyway, well, let's hit another video here and close this out. I've got a few here that I was looking at, but I think I really want to go with this guy, Stock and Crypto Creep. I typed creep, or I tried to. Wow. Yeah, getting tired. Thanks, Monster Buddy. It's I just try to look at it from angles that, are practical, that make sense with things in context. That's the big thing. Who stands to benefit from whatever? And what is their purpose? Who benefits from it? How do you or I benefit from it? Or do we? And, I'm not going to disagree with you on that, but it could also be, a scary thing. But hey, thank God we have AI now. It's not coming, it is here. It is here. Everything is AI now. If you look at the stock market and you see the AI stocks, clearly AI has taken over everything. It is it's not the future. It is the present. It is now. It is reality based on these valuations. And thank God, because then now we can clone Scott Alkin and we can make, another of me, and then there will be more of me. So anyway, I don't know. I will never stop making fun of this AI nonsense mania that we're in right now because it is absurd. And it will not end. Mark my words, it will not end the way the bulls think it will. It absolutely will not. There are going to be more Bed Bath & Beyond CFO style jumpers from this, I really think. Or if not literally, there will be a lot of pain coming from this because this is a bubble. It's more like a zit. It's more like a massive pimple, a 2-inch wide pimple that, is festering. When MOAS jumpers, well, we'll be there to cover that whenever it does happen. But unless I see it with my own 2 eyes, I'm sorry, 4 because I wear glasses. Unless I see it with my own eyes, did it happen? I don't know. Tony, did it happen? Is that what you're saying?
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying it? What are you saying? Huh?
Here we go.
Hey friends, welcome to Stock Jam Crypto Plays. I'm talking about AMC stock and
observation I noticed today. I don't know if it was started today or if I just noticed it today because I don't watch a lot of these videos outside of this anymore. But I did happen to pull up one of his videos earlier in the car. I noticed he did away with the music at the beginning and the applause. Did you guys notice that? No applause, no music. Anyway, just an observation.
hey friends, welcome to Stock Jam Crypto Plays. I'm talking about AMC stock.
Yeah, you here, Tony? Where you at, Tony?
I did a video earlier today. I don't know if you
Friends,
watched
Eddie.
that one yet. Maybe watch it after this one. We have a lot of things going on. As you know, Mr. Brian Tuttle just uploaded some new paperwork yesterday.
Oh, yes, Mr. Brian Tuttle, because his previous ones worked out so well. I swear to God, what is it with grifters who fail and like not the good failure, not that's not what I'm talking about. Not the good failure. I'm talking about the obvious expected and intended failure, intended, speculatively intended. But who benefits from it? I don't know. But zero data sucks at TA, yet he insists on continuing with it, saying nothing. People like Brian Tuttle fail in their court motions. But they insist on continuing because they create this cult of personality, I guess. I don't know. But what is it about grifters? They just don't stop. They just don't fucking stop. Zero data is probably one of my least, he's probably the one I hate the most right now. It's really kind of down, well, probably him because he puts out way too much content and doesn't say anything. We're going to do a Grifter Awards sometime soon. We did a tier list last year where we ranked the people, and it was pretty fun. I think it's 2 or 3 part streams. But we're going to do another thing like that soon. And it's not going to be just a tier list, it's going to be actual awards. So, like best TA, for example, and best is ironic. It's all ironic usage. Best TA, I'm really thinking probably will go to Zero Data. It'll be a runoff probably between him and Ant's Trades. And we also do the bingo thing could be cool too to do again. Yep. But the Grifter Awards, it's gonna be it's gonna be off the chain. It's gonna be the ultimate. But anyway, best registered sex offender grifter may go to this guy. I don't know. That's not defamation. That's just a joke. All right.
Objecting to the special master's advice to the judge, where she said that she wants to cancel our objections and continue on and accept the settlement. Also,
because they're bullshit objections.
Where I showed you that the director of Antara Capital has the same last name as a special master. Way too convenient for me. Way too much of a conflict of interest, in my opinion. I'm not for sure if they're related or not, but it's too much of a coincidence. Okay.
Oh yeah, these guys, they don't believe in coincidences. It's too much of a coincidence. Like, well, okay. Sure. Now, Lynn said something here that's interesting. Pink is not part of the AMC branded color scheme. It's not. That's 100% correct. I think that a citation should be issued on this. I mean, branding is a serious issue. Branding mistakes cannot be accepted. They cannot be tolerated. It must be dealt with through enforcement. I'm calling on Adam Aaron to issue a citation to this clown, make him pay a $10,000 fine, and sign an acceptance consent waiver form. That's the only way that we can stop these egregious branding mistakes. Using the wrong color, letters too close to the edge. I mean, these things are all specified in their branding standards manual. And I'm not making this up. I'm not really. This is real shit. The fine, yeah, make it up. But think about it. If they find this guy, they could take that money and pay down the debt. Okay, sorry. It's been a long week and I'm
June
sleep
30th,
deprived. Things get a little silly.
I don't think we'll have a decision on the 30th, but we might. You just never.
Everybody should do what Monster Buddy 23 did. Okay? Sub with a bell. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I hope not. It is a serious matter. I'm being a little facetious and, poking fun at it. But I download, this was back in 2002, showing my age. I downloaded a copy of my university's branding standards manual. And because they rebranded, they came out with a new logo, and they had these guidelines. I printed it out and put it in a 3-ring binder, kept it in my dorm room, just because it was funny, and I thought it was kind of ridiculous that they went to all this trouble. But now I understand. See, that's just the thing. Things that you don't understand when you're 19, when you're 40, make more sense. You know, and yeah. So I get the branding thing, but it's also kind of silly in a way, but it's very important. And I think if we didn't have these types of standards, we'd be worse off. It would impact society in a very negative way. So we absolutely need them, and millions of dollars would be wasted on poor designs, resulting in lower sales revenue, lower shareholder values. You got to have the branding, has to be done right. So follow the rules. You won't get fined.
Never know. You got to be ready for it. But people will be able to testify. I'm wondering who's going to be there. Are significant people going to be there? I wonder if Mr. Tuttle's going to be there. I wonder, like who's going to be there? Like people that we know. I wonder any prominent YouTubers. If I could be there, friends, myself to testify, I would absolutely love it. It would be like a vacation for me. It would be fantastic. I'd be having so much fun. But I looked into being able to be there. I wanted to be there, but I cannot be there. If there was a way for me to do it, I would do it. I can't explain why. I just can't be there. But I'm doing everything else I can behind the scenes. I just can't.
Yeah, it might be because he's not legally able to travel outside of his jurisdiction for reasons. I don't know. I'm speculating. That's complete speculation, but it may be related to some type of court case. I'm not sure. Maybe related to some type of offense. I don't know. There's definitely more about this guy that we have to discover. Okay.
Can't testify, but I'm sure some really good apes will be testifying. And in regards to the judge, I think that she's really on our side, friends, and she's doing everything she can to help us. But I think a lot of powerful people are fighting her behind the scenes. You can see even the special master is corrupt, in my personal opinion. Okay.
Well, that's not a surprise. I mean, everybody's corrupt in your fucking eyes. No, it doesn't matter which pair of glasses you wear. They're all fucking corrupt if they don't agree with your delusional statements. So, I mean, no, the special master is not corrupt. I read the report. It's pretty spot on, and she's cute. So there. I mean, not that it matters or anything else, but like, dude, everybody is corrupt if they don't agree with you. Well, you are a child. Quite frankly, you are a child, or a retard, or a retarded child, which is like, or a retarded, or like a retarded cat, which I have a couple of, but probably more like a retarded kid. God.
What do you guys think about it? Do you think the special master is corrupt? Also, what was I gonna say? Did you get to see any good movies? Like, did you see The Flash? It's not making a lot of money. I saw it and I really liked it. What do you guys think? I don't know. I really liked it. I thought Michael Keaton was amazing in that movie. And I want him to get his own movie again, but I heard they're not going to do it now because the movie didn't make much money. I don't know. But anyways, AMC's making a ton of money right now.
Who cares? Who cares if you like the movie or not? See, that's the thing. That's the thing here. Terrible business sense. Doesn't matter if the movie was good or not. It has nothing to do with that. How much money did it bring in? Oh, it sucked. It did not recoup costs. Doesn't matter how good, quote unquote, good a movie is. You got to be thinking with numbers. Numbers.
A ton of
head, not heart.
Money right now, friends. Okay, so
what? What the hell?
Anyways, AMC's making a ton of money right now, friends. Oh, there's the bad.
Not really.
Making a ton of money right now, friends. Okay, so
Yeah, so much money that you can't even look us in the eye into the camera and talk about it. You had to look away. When was the last time you looked away? I don't know, but you sure are now. AMC is making a ton of money. Okay, a ton. What does that even mean? Is that why they're unprofitable? Is that why they're in debt? Yeah, they're making a ton of fucking money. What am I missing here? I don't think I'm missing anything. AMC is not making a ton of money. This guy is a retard. I think I covered everything.
that's besides the point. We see AMC stock still going down, 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 down. They're totally manipulating the price. Nobody.
How about the fact that Disney has delayed two of the biggest fucking movies that you guys have been pumping previously, like the new Avatar? Well, first of all, who gave a fuck about the Avatar? Who actually fucking cared about the second Avatar? I sure as fuck didn't. So who's going to care about the third one, which is now delayed? So that's not good. Hollywood is not recovering as quickly as potentially they thought that they would. If they don't have movies to show, that means lower revenue in the future. Guess what? That means lower earnings. That means lower stock price to anticipate that in a discounted cash flow type of valuation. Like, it makes sense. Not everything is fucking manipulation. Not everything that you don't understand is nefarious. And I'm kind of quoting Chance the lawyer there. She said that in a tweet, but it's true. In fact, most of the things you don't understand, you just don't understand them. They're not necessarily good or bad or nefarious or, illegal. You just don't get it. You don't even think that you should get it. But they're manipulating the price down. Well, if that's the case, then I say keep going. Manipulate it lower because it's still overvalued based on what I'm seeing. And that means without the reverse split, which will happen. I mean, there's no question in my mind about that. Given our track record, I would go with us on that. I would, given our track record. Given these clowns' track record, I mean, shit, you might as well just burn your money. Or compress it in a hydraulic press and watch it explode because they've been wrong every step of the way. Consequently, we've pretty much been spot on. Timing wise, yeah, that's hard to predict. Nobody can predict that. But in terms of what's going to happen to the stock, the price being under $10, all the different aspects, if it makes sense to go that way. But he doesn't understand how valuations are even formed. He just thinks it's like just, you're just literally gambling here. And because that's what they are doing. That's what they are doing. Let's be honest. But I mean, there's some basis for the valuation. Yeah, I mean, it's getting late, so my, mental thesaurus is not really kicking in on me. But yeah, wrong is an understatement. I mean, it's just been, yeah, I don't know. All I got is wrong, but colossally wrong. I mean, it is so ridiculous to me. But I'm glad I have a new monster buddy because we're trying to grow the channel, and I don't have as much time as I used to do this, but I do appreciate the new people coming in. Let's finish this shit out and get the hell out of here.
SEC is doing nothing. Nobody's doing nothing. Congress is doing nothing. They just let the manipulation happen. Also, JP.
It's been happening for over 200 years, my friend. What you call manipulation, this is how it works. You got to learn the rules of the game if you're going to fucking play it. You never took the time to do that. You think it's going to be like an eBay auction. Guess what? It's not like an eBay auction.
Morgan Chase was caught burning like materials like from potential documents that may have had short positions on there, and they had emails that they deleted, and so anyways they got.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, some Hunter Biden bullshit. This guy is a QAnon retard. First of all, I've heard him say things like that. Second of all, some last video we watched, like he was talking about how, well, something had a rainbow on it, and he said, "Oh, they have rainbows there because it's God's way of showing the water vapor." No, motherfucker, it's rainbow for gay people, dudes who fuck dudes. And he didn't like that because he's a little Christian. He's gay for God. Guess what? That's not what the rainbows were fucking for. You child. I know, it is time for me to kick the snippet because I'm starting to get really annoyed. These idiots.
They got like a $4 million.
Yeah, that's it. That sure is it.
We're fighting. Can you believe what we're fighting, friends?
Oh yeah, you guys are crime fucking fighters. Wow. You guys are saving the fucking planet. You guys are saving humanity.
Because she is fighting massive corruption. Okay, so she needs help. Even though
she needs help.
I think she needs help. So we're going to be praying for her on Sunday. So
pray for her. Yeah, that'll work. Why don't you pray for yourselves? Why don't you pray for AMC that they'll make money?
What movies are you excited to see?
Yeah, pray.
Coming up this weekend? Are you going to see that new movie?
I'm sorry.
Lawrence? It looks really
Pray?
fun. What is it? Where was it?
I mean, that's more pathetic than hope. That's more pathetic than straight up hoping.
Feldman, No Hard Feelings.
Wow.
It's kind of a fun movie.
Jesus fucking Christ. You got to be kidding me.
I will do another video.
Pray for us, friends. We're going to need it. You know what? We'll pray for you. How about that? We'll pray for you. Because you need the prayers. There's the applause, too. Good fucking God. Well, I can't believe we made it through that. That's a pat yourself on the back moment. All right, well, thanks everybody. We'll see you in the next stream, maybe tomorrow, probably Sunday. Definitely Sunday, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, have a good one. Catch you later. Bye.